There came a point when you had no other choice but to let them follow their own path. This decision may have seemed heavy, but it was a necessary step, both for your growth and theirs. We can't always keep everyone with whom we deeply connect by our side. Sometimes life demands that we allow others to walk their own paths so that we can walk ours. Today, I want to talk to you who felt deep down that this person was the one. Someone you imagined sharing your life, your dreams, your victories, and challenges with. But for some reason, the relationship lost its balance, and what once seemed perfect began to suffocate you. It's as if fate had planned a separation, not as a punishment, but as an opportunity for mutual growth. When that connection started to crumble, maybe you tried to fight against it, holding on with all your strength to what seemed right. However, sometimes it's necessary to trust that each person's path needs to follow its individual route for healing and learning to occur. The person you considered the one may have been, in fact, a mirror, reflecting parts of yourself that needed attention and healing. But just as a flower season has its time, certain connections also have their cycles. Accepting the end doesn't mean you have failed. On the contrary, it means recognizing that this journey brought valuable lessons, both for you and for them. This moment of separation is, in fact, preparation for something greater. God knows what is best for you, and sometimes He allows certain people to leave your life to make room for even greater blessings. Now what matters is your growth, your healing process, and your deeper connection with the purpose God has for your life. Perhaps at that moment, you believed that loving meant fighting to the end, resisting the difficulties. But over time, life has shown that true strength lies in knowing when it's time to let go. Sometimes, we need to step away to understand what is preventing us from growing. Think of a tree with dry branches. It can't bloom fully until it sheds what no longer nourishes it. Similarly, this separation was a necessary cut, so that both you and this person could renew yourselves. You may have given yourself completely, opening your heart genuinely, believing you were on the right path. But suddenly what remained was a sense of emptiness and a wounded heart. This is not a sign of failure. In fact, it's the universe's way of showing you that this person, although important, wasn't ready for the depth of what you had to offer. Like a boat that needs space to sail freely, you both needed that distance to find your own waters. Remember how many times you've heard of people who, after a painful separation, found themselves in ways they never imagined. It could be a friend who, after a complicated breakup, decided to invest in their career and became someone much more accomplished. Or that acquaintance who, after a break, discovered new talents and passions, completely changing the direction of their life. Separation can be painful, but it's also a moment of discovery and renewal. Now you find yourself in a phase of transformation. God, or the universe, as you prefer, is reorganizing your life. What no longer makes sense or contributes to your well-being is being removed, even though for now it seems painful. Think of how sometimes a house needs to go through a drastic renovation. Walls are torn down, furniture is replaced. Everything seems like a mess. But in the end, the renovated space is more functional, beautiful, and suited to new needs. That's how your life is now. There's a lesson here. Don't project your expectations onto an uncertain future. Yes, this person might return, but that's not guaranteed. More important than waiting for that is focusing on who you are becoming during this process. Many times, people are not prepared for what they prayed for. They might have even wished for someone like you, but when you appeared, they didn't know how to deal with the intensity of your presence. This is not a failure on your part. Just as not all soil is ready to receive a seed, not every heart is prepared to embrace genuine love. Perhaps you found yourself in the position of always seeking, always chasing, while the other person was running away. This pattern is common in relationships where one party is not ready to deal with the truth that love brings. Remember that true love is not about emotional games, but about vulnerability, commitment, and reciprocity. And if the other person wasn't ready for that, it's not something you could have forced. Now is the moment to look within yourself. Free yourself from the idea that your happiness depends on the presence of another person. Often, true growth happens when we are alone. Just like a butterfly needs to break free from its cocoon to fly, you also need this time of solitude to discover your wings. And remember, letting go is not giving up. Letting go is allowing life to follow its course, with the trust that the best is yet to come. Many contents out there encourage waiting for the return of lost love. But true wisdom lies in understanding that not all encounters are meant to last forever. Some people enter our lives to teach us lessons, and once we've learned what we need, it's time to move on. Just like the cycle of seasons, everything has a time to bloom and a time to wither. One example of this is when we see people who, after an intense relationship, decide to focus on themselves and end up discovering strengths they never imagined they had. They learn to love themselves deeply, to value their journey, and to grow in unimaginable ways. Now it's your time to do the same. Now it's your turn to bloom. Use this time to rediscover yourself, to invest in your passions, to heal the wounds that were opened. Whatever happens in the future, remember that you are in control of your life, and that letting go is part of the rebirth process. The journey of letting go of someone with whom you had such a strong connection is painful and challenging. There's no denying the weight of this experience, but it's crucial to understand that, in life, some bonds are formed to teach and transform us, and not necessarily to last. Even if the idea that this person was your soulmate or your great love seems hard to abandon, the act of letting go becomes a necessity for your own growth and balance. At this moment, it's important to reflect on the meaning of a soul connection. Soulmates, or spiritual partners, are often idealized as a permanent presence, destined to share life in a linear way. However, the truth can be much more complex. Soulmates don't just appear to complement our lives positively, but to challenge us, to test us, and often to force us to look within ourselves. They enter our journey to teach us fundamental lessons that, without this encounter, perhaps we wouldn't be able to learn. Many spirituality and relationship experts talk about different types of soulmates. Some are destined to share our entire life with us, while others appear only to fulfill a specific role at a stage of our journey. In your case, it's possible that the person with whom you had this deep connection was one of those souls who come for a limited time, but with a lasting impact. This person forced you to face aspects of your life that needed to be transformed. And while this may have caused pain, it's important to realize that pain often pushes us toward growth. Separation, therefore, should not be seen as a failure. On the contrary, it can be a sign that you are on the right path to your personal development. Often we cling to the idea that a relationship needs to last to be valid or meaningful. However, the length of a relationship does not define its value or impact. Even the shortest encounters can leave deep lessons, and that's what you should focus on now. On what you learned, how you grew, what this experience brought to you in terms of wisdom and self-knowledge. During this time of distance, you have the opportunity to reflect on what you truly desire in a relationship, on who you are, and what you need to be happy with yourself, independently of another person. This is a time for re-evaluation and rediscovery. Intense relationships, like the one you went through, often drain us emotionally because we give ourselves absolutely without leaving space to take care of ourselves. Now, The universe is gifting you with the time and space to take care of yourself. It's crucial that you use this time to invest in your personal growth. Sometimes, the act of letting go of someone to whom we were strongly connected offers clarity that seemed impossible before. As the pain of separation fades, you may start to see more clearly what this person brought into your life and what this relationship meant. More importantly, you can recognize how much you have changed since the beginning of this journey. This awareness is liberating because it allows you to redirect your energies toward yourself, something we often overlook when focused on another person. This is the essence of true emotional growth. Learning to strengthen yourself, to love yourself, and to value yourself without relying on someone else to validate your worth. When you give yourself entirely to someone as you did, you often lose parts of yourself. However, life calls us to be complete and whole by ourselves, not through others. True balance in relationships begins with emotional self-sufficiency. To achieve that, you need to give yourself the opportunity to reconnect with your deepest self. It may be that during this process of healing and reconstruction, you encounter the idea that perhaps there is still a chance of reconnection with this person in the future. There is nothing wrong with maintaining hope, as long as that hope does not become an anchor that prevents you from moving forward. Reconnection will only be beneficial if both have grown and prepared for a healthier and more balanced relationship. However, that is an uncertain future. The only certainty you have now is your own journey and what you can do for yourself. One of the greatest emotional traps in situations like this is the tendency to idealize the other person and the relationship that ended. The human mind, when faced with loss, often paints the past with softer colors than it truly was. It's easy to focus only on the good moments and forget how much the relationship consumed you. How much pain and confusion were also part of that process. In this sense, it's important to remember that the separation happened for a reason, and that reason is directly linked to your emotional and spiritual well-being. Your journey of recovery isn't just about overcoming the pain of a past relationship, but also about rediscovering yourself. You should use this time to strengthen your foundations, nurture your self-esteem, and rebuild your confidence. There might have been moments when you questioned your worth, thinking the problem was with you. But this type of thinking is misleading. The dynamics that led to the end of the relationship are complex, and blaming yourself will only trap you in a cycle of self-sabotage. True healing happens when you allow yourself to be kind to yourself, recognizing that you did the best you could with the emotional tools you had at the time. Now, you have the chance to expand those tools. Use this time to invest in activities that bring you joy and personal satisfaction. Rebuild your identity outside of the relationship. Strengthen your friendships. Rediscover hobbies you may have put aside. And above all, take care of your mental and emotional health. Self-love is the key to all other forms of love. When you love yourself deeply, unconditionally, that reflects in all your future relationships. The quality of your relationships improves because you prioritize yourself. And this doesn't mean being selfish, but being healthy. A truly balanced relationship can only exist between two people who love and respect themselves individually. As you move forward on this path of self-discovery and self-care, the pain of separation fades, and what remains is clarity. You begin to realize that even though it was painful, this period of distance was necessary for your well-being and personal growth. You start to feel stronger, more confident, and this positive energy will attract healthier relationships into your life in the future, whether with this person or with someone new. And if, eventually, there is a reconnection, it will be based on a new level of mutual respect, personal growth, and emotional maturity. You will no longer be the same people you were when you separated. But until then, don't focus on the if or the when. Focus on the now. This is your moment of healing. Embrace the process. Don't try to rush things, as time is a crucial component in transformation. This path you are walking is not easy, but it is incredibly rewarding. By committing to your growth, you open doors that once seemed closed. It may be that at the end of this journey, you look back and are thankful for the separation, because it led you to a much better place, a place of self-sufficiency, inner peace, and true self-love. If you can take something away from this experience, let it be the lesson that love cannot be forced, and above all, that the most important love is the one you give to yourself. When we talk about the process of letting someone go and moving on, we're not just dealing with the idea of forgetting a lost love. It involves deep inner healing, emotional transformation, and rediscovery of who you are when you're not tied to expectations or bonds that no longer serve you. And this is a process that requires time, and above all, patience with yourself. One of the first stages of this journey of self-overcoming is recognizing the pain and accepting it. Many people try to bury or ignore the negative feelings that arise after a separation, but that only prolongs the suffering. First and foremost, you need to allow yourself to feel. The pain, the longing, the frustration, and even the anger are valid emotions and an essential part of the healing process. By facing these feelings head-on, you begin to understand them better and learn how to deal with them healthily. This is a moment of deep introspection. You should ask yourself, who am I without this relationship? What really makes me happy? What are my values, and how do I want to live by them from now on? These questions aren't easy to answer, and you may take time to find the answers. But by doing this type of reflection, you begin to reconnect with aspects of your identity that are often obscured when we're deeply involved with someone else. Many of us lose ourselves in relationships because in our eagerness to please the other person or to maintain harmony, we set aside important parts of who we are. But now, with this space and time of separation, you have the chance to revisit and rediscover those parts. Maybe you abandoned old dreams, hobbies, or interests that were always important, but took a back seat. This is the perfect time to take them up again. An essential part of this process is practicing self-reflection. Writing about your feelings, thoughts, and experiences can be a very effective way to heal. Keeping a journal or notebook where you record your daily emotions, your moments of weakness, and your personal achievements helps organize your thoughts and see how much you've evolved over time. It's not about reliving the past, but observing your progress and being proud of it. Furthermore, self-reflection brings you to a deeper level of self-awareness. You may begin to notice patterns that repeat in your relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships. Perhaps you've always had a tendency to give more than you receive, or had difficulty setting boundaries. Now, with this new perspective, you can work on these issues and ensure that in the future, your relationships are more balanced and healthy. Another fundamental step is learning to set healthy boundaries in all areas of your life. This includes learning to say no when necessary, prioritizing your own needs, and recognizing when something or someone isn't treating you the way you deserve. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing others away, but about ensuring that your emotional and mental energy is preserved. Truly healthy relationships thrive when both sides respect and understand each other's needs. In the process of emotional recovery, it's important to remember that you're not alone. All of us, at some point, go through separations, losses, and moments of pain. Talking to close friends, family members, or even seeking professional support through a therapist can be an incredibly powerful tool. Sharing your feelings isn't a sign of weakness, but of strength. By sharing what you're going through, you release part of the weight you carry alone and allow others to offer you different perspectives. Understand that time is your greatest ally in the healing process. In the first days, weeks, or even months, you may feel acute pain, as if something essential is missing. But over time, that pain transforms. It doesn't disappear all at once, but it becomes more manageable, until one day you realize it doesn't hurt as much as before. This is the miracle of time. It gives us the opportunity to process and reorganize our feelings and experiences. In the meantime, focusing on your personal growth is essential. Growth doesn't stop with the separation. In fact, it only begins. Separation, as painful as it may be, can be the catalyst for profound and positive changes in your life. You start to redefine your priorities. You start to realize what really matters. And above all, you begin to build a healthier relationship with yourself. Self-compassion also plays a crucial role in this process. Instead of blaming or criticizing yourself for past mistakes, choose to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. We all fail in some way. But that's part of the human journey. True growth comes when we are able to look at our flaws with kindness and recognize that we did the best we could with the circumstances presented to us. As time passes and you move forward in this process of healing and personal growth, something interesting begins to happen. You start attracting new people and new opportunities that are more aligned with your new way of being. This doesn't mean you should immediately seek a new relationship or a new romantic connection, but rather that, as you strengthen and reconnect with your true self, the people and situations that come into your life tend to reflect this new balance. It's possible that as you heal and grow, you'll attract someone who is emotionally and spiritually on the same level as you, someone who has also done the work of self-discovery and is prepared to share a healthy and balanced relationship. However, there's no need to rush. The most important thing is that you're well with yourself before seeking another deep connection. And if the future brings a reconnection with the person from your past, let it happen in a new context where both of you have learned and grown. If that doesn't happen, it's because your paths weren't meant to cross again. And that's okay too. What matters is that you learn to trust the process of life and understand that everything happens as it should, at the right time. In the meantime, continue investing in your well-being, in your growth, and in your personal happiness. Life is full of possibilities, and you have the power to create a new reality for yourself. As you continue on your path, remember that every experience, whether it brings joy or pain, serves a higher purpose in shaping the person you are becoming. Embrace the lessons that come with each season of life, knowing that the trials you face are refining you, preparing you for something greater. If someone from your past is meant to re-enter your life, it will be when both of your souls have evolved and are ready to connect on a higher level. But if that moment never comes, trust that the relationships and opportunities ahead of you will bring the growth and fulfillment you seek. In this season, focus on cultivating self-love, inner peace, and a deeper relationship with the divine. These are the foundations that will attract the right people and circumstances into your life. The future is full of possibilities, and you have the power to manifest a new reality that aligns with your purpose and the higher vibrations you're meant to embody. Keep your heart open, your faith strong, and know that everything is unfolding as it should. As you walk this journey, each step forward brings you closer to your divine purpose. You are not defined by what you leave behind, but by the strength and wisdom you gain as you move ahead. Trust that the universe is aligning everything for your greatest good, even if the path is not always clear. The relationships and experiences that are no longer part of your life have served their purpose. Release them with gratitude, for they have been crucial in helping you become who you are today. In this new chapter, allow yourself to be open to connections that resonate with your true self, people who uplift your spirit and support your journey. Remember, you are co-creating your future with each choice you make. Every moment is an opportunity to choose growth, love, and abundance. As you continue to invest in your personal well-being, you are setting the stage for a future that reflects the depth of your inner transformation. Trust in the divine timing, knowing that what is meant for you will never pass you by. Keep your faith unwavering, for the best is yet to come. Trust the journey and know that with each step, you are getting closer to a more fulfilled and complete version of who you truly are. Remember, love starts from within. When you truly love yourself, it reflects in everything around you. And when you reach that point, you'll be ready for whatever life brings, whether it's a new love, new friendships, or simply the peace of being complete in your own company. Letting go is, first and foremost, an act of faith. Faith in the process, faith in yourself, and faith in the future you are building, one step at a time.